Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. Alright, so I want to go into this lesson, speaking about the prophecies and pretty much the time frame that we're currently in. As I got this picture of Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the latter days with the statue, where you had the head of gold going all the way down to the feet, which was miry clay, and well, it says right here, his feet from part of clay and partly strong and partly broken. But anyways, because if you look at the news right now, you see all the things that are going on in the land of Israel. Ashkelon getting destroyed. And you have to understand, first and foremost, that in 1948, when those so-called Jews went into that land, that was not a fulfillment of prophecy pertaining to Isaiah 2 or Isaiah 11 or pretty much anything that's in the scriptures that speaks about the kingdom of heaven being established down here on earth and the laws being pushed out, and the nation of Israel, getting back in the right state. If anything, that what prophecies that we're seeing right now is right before the end. We're gonna see World War III happen. We're gonna see the mark of the beast manifest. We're gonna see all these things because right now we're pretty much like, well, let me get the picture so we can get like a dipstick of where we're at right now. So we're pretty much right here in the last part. It says right here, the divided Roman Empire. And then we're pretty much we're gonna speak and prophesy about this meteorite happening. Now, meteorite represents Yahweh Shai because he's gonna come down, every eye shall see him, and he's gonna topple down all the confusion. You can see the head. The head is Babylon, which is basically this whole head is confusion. The whole thing is gonna get destroyed, and then we'll see the actual the prophecies specifically in Isaiah 2 be fulfilled. And I also got Isaiah 11. But I'm just do this. I'm just gonna read just a few precepts. So understand where we are in biblical times. Because a lot of people like to say, when we bring out the scriptures, that, oh, that was in the past, that was in the Bible times. Well, we're in Bible times. We're in prophecy speaking, and like I showed the picture, we're pretty much here right before that meteorite hits. So it's good to understand the times and the seasons. You got to understand a lot of things: history, prophecy, and ultimately the Lord has got to be dealing with you for you to understand these parables and mysteries. So I'm gonna read this in Daniel 7 verse 6, and this is speaking about the fourth beast. I'm not gonna go back to the picture a whole bunch of time. So like the Greek Empire right here, like right here in the middle. Just to get a little bit of history. This is Daniel 7 verse 6. It says, "After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it." Now, so I want to highlight the fact that it says right here that says dominion was given to it. Because this is the time frame where Esau got into rulership. Because in this vision, with the leopard, it's talking about Alexander the Great. And the 4 beasts is talking about his generals under him. So pretty much this devil was given the reins of the earth for a little season. And so we could see what wickedness is pretty much. And the scriptures always say too that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And so we're coming into the time where this devil is being revealed. Like they ain't no hiding anymore. There's no place where he can hide. Like I remember there's this article that it was basically saying that with the media trying to cover what's going on in Israel, they're making them seem like they're getting attacked for no reason. But if you understand history, it's coming into the date of the day when they went there back in 1948. I think a few days ago when the missiles started happening, it was called Flag Day or something like that, where they made that star Moloch, and so then on the 14th they moved into the land. And then I actually had a coworker, and he's an Ishmaelite. But then he has family members over there, and he was saying that that they were in there during prayer, I guess, they're all on their Muslim carpets praying. And they're pretty much all the Amalekites, the so-called Jews. They were going into the mosques and banging hammers, or not hammers, banging drums, blowing trumpets and chanting. And then pretty much it got physical, it got violent. And then pretty much that's just the account that he gave me. That the so-called Jews pretty much they're not guiltless, so to speak. It's because this has been happening for years. This whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and so right now we're pretty much at the point where things are heating up, and then everyone's gonna pretty much have to go down to the valley of Yahweh, because every nation on the earth has a hand, pretty much in keeping the real Israelites down, but also because the Amalekites have everyone in subjection. But then with Russia, Iran, and all these other countries, the other side of the coin, because Esau is going to be at against himself, you know, so they're going to be pretty much pitted against with the so-called Jews, because they're going to be sided with the Palestinians. So with all this turmoil and politics that's going on, you have to understand what times we're in. Because if Isaiah 2 was fulfilled when they went there in 1948, this wouldn't have happened, because Isaiah 2 speaks about how all the nations are going to make their weapons into plowshares. But if anything, is speaking about Joel. I think it's in Joel 3, where it says that the heathens gather round about, and they're making their plowshares into weapons. They have become strong as Esau. It's because he's not the bully that he once was anymore. Everyone's got nukes. Everyone's got a phone. And so they're showing all the instances, pretty much making it look like they really were the bad guys in most of their conflicts. I'm just for what I've been seeing on Instagram or whatever. Because this internet was a bad mistake on his part, because all it's doing is exposing them. And so one thing that this internet is doing is carrying this word out through the unicorn, the satellites. So every day, pretty much, an epistle comes out. Every day you have the videos of the Apostles' Great Millstone being pushed out, and comments, everything. Pretty much, this is living waters, and you can't stop this. So going back into the scriptures, because I wanted to bring out the history. Back in like I was reading in Daniel 7. So this is Alexander. And we've done countless historical look-ins into this guy. And he was pretty much an Idumean. His father was an Idumean from Macedonia. So you can't say that the Bible is a fairy tale. Because if you were to say that, you're supposed to say that Alexander the Great is a fairy tale, that he didn't exist. But he did indeed exist, and he was a Greek, but his father was an Idumean from Macedonia. Because people were allowed to migrate back in the day. It ain't just recently till planes got invented that people can go border to border. People have been walking to and fro the lands of the earth since basically the ever. Well, so anyways, I want to read this in First Maccabees 1, and I'm just going to jump a little bit, but I want to read the first part. And it says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And I'm just going to jump to his death. It says, jump into verse 7. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died, and his servants bare rule, everyone in his place. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So this is the earth given into the hand of the wicked. And so the devil is pretty much being revealed, the wicked. And so everyone pretty much knows that this guy is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He fits the Bible to a T, and he does not fit Isaiah 2 to a T. And then here are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the real Hebrew Israelites. They fit the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Because we're the only persons, like if you search, yoke of iron, the only people that happened to, and then they were put on slave ships and sent back to Egypt. This place, America, being Egypt again.
The only people that happened to are the so-called Negroes from the west side of Africa. So we fit the bill and they don't. And so this is Habakkuk 2 verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. He cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth to him unto so like it says, and heapeth unto him all people." Just going into a characteristic of this devil. This is the guy who puts all these people in various continents. He has dealings with everyone else. Pretty much, if you go to China, you're gonna see Esau running stuff. So another precept I had, this is Isaiah 26 verse 10. It says, "Let favor be showed to the wicked." So even though the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, just for a little season, we're seeing that he can't do it right, like run the world. Because if he was given more time than he's allotted, he would destroy everything, including himself. But so it says, "Let favor be showed to the wicked," because he has been showed favor. He was given the blessing of the sword. He was given the reins of the earth back with Alexander the Greek. And so he even, like, fast forwarding it to the 17th century when he enslaved the real Hebrew Israelites. He had the scriptures in his hands. And then right now he's in the land of Israel, and he runs the banks, he runs the media, all these things. You would think that he would try, at least he would try to fulfill the prophecies of Isaiah 2 and try to make earth a kingdom of heaven. But he can't, pretty much, because it's impossible for him. The spirit is not upright in him. So it says, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord." And I'm not going to get into any of the wickedness that's being pushed out of the land of Israel, Tel Aviv, Pink City, whatever, because they're not fulfilling prophecy, pretty much, straight up. You can read Isaiah 2, so you can get an understanding of what I'm speaking about. And then you can also you just do quick research. Over here, the main reasons you can't fulfill the laws of the Bible is because of the so-called Jews. They're the ones, the politicians, who make it so. So even though they have the ability, like like the older brother Yashawamba, he was saying, we don't got missiles, we don't got that power yet. We're the threat over there on the highways and hedges. But these guys, they have the earth. They have all this thing. They have the fatness of the earth, yet they're not going to learn righteousness. They're going to push out that wickedness, because the scripture says that Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and he had made all the earth drunken of the wine. And that wine is talking about the fornications. Pretty much, they're going to China and telling them how to run things, in wickedness, pretty much. And so this is another precept. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 4 says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable." So that's pretty much the time frame that we're in right now. Is right now, and we're seeing this wicked person, the bottom part of the feet, rule in wickedness. But in due time, we're gonna see this dream that Nebuchadnezzar had happen. And like I said, this rock represents Yahweh Shai and the elect. Establishing the kingdom of heaven and fulfilling prophecy. To a T. Not a little. Not one dot or tittle is gonna be taken out of the law. We're gonna get the scriptures pretty much written in our inward parts. The laws, and make sure that they all are fulfilled. And one of the main things that we harp on, because I read Isaiah 2 a lot, but it's also written in Isaiah 11 about the kingdom of heaven and how it's going to look. Not like what you got right now in the land of Israel, where they got missiles getting shot at them. And so this is Isaiah 11 verse 1. It says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots." And Yahweh Shai, if you look at his lineage, he comes from the line of David. Over there in the land of Israel, even the most so-called Jewish person, they don't even believe in a Messiah. They think that this is it. They think they just live their lives, do a little bit of wickedness here and there, and then die, and that's it. It just goes to show you that they're not the people, because the scriptures right here in Isaiah 11, which they proclaim they're Jewish, so they only deal with the Old Testament. They don't go into who this stem of Jesse is, but it's speaking about Yahweh Shai. All right, so verse 2 says, "And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord." And the things that they're doing over there in Tel Aviv, Pink City, it shows that they don't have the fear of the Lord, because through the Lord's judgments, people fear. That's why he's got that nickname, Alashaidia, terrible demon-like power, because he's known by the judgments that he makes. And then fear is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge. So it just goes to show you that that you could check that on the list to see if they're not the people, if they're the people or not. And they're not, because they don't fear the Lord whatsoever. Well, only Israel can fear the Lord. So verse 3 says, "And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth." Because when the earth is given to the nation of Israel to rule in righteousness, we're not going to reign over the heathens in wickedness. We're going to be just judges, pretty much. And if they don't do their part in reverencing us, and within the Lord, because they're pretty much going to worship us, because we're going to be the priests unto them, in a sense, because we're going to be a direct line to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And if they don't follow the guidelines that we set down, if they don't follow the laws, then pretty much it's going to be judgment. One of the judgments is that their land is not going to have any rain. So that's why they're going to continuously work, continuously to give us tithes, because our gates are going to be open continually. And you don't see that in the land of Israel right now. You see the only thing that they're giving those so-called Jews is missiles right now. And so verse 3, I'll read it again. It says, "And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth." So, like, if a person kills a sodomite, that person is not going to get arrested and be in a solitary confinement, kept away from his family. If anything, he might get a blessing if he does that. But right now, when the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, it doesn't profit you to be righteous. So continuing on, it says, "And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked." So like I said, over there, what's going on in Tel Aviv, Pink City, they're not slaying the wicked. They're letting it proliferate. I forgot how you say that word. Proliferate. Like, it's basically it's multiplying. So I'm gonna read last precept. It says, "And the righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins." Those so-called Jews, they don't fit this bill. Righteous people, and they're not faithful. I catch so-called Jewish people in the world always eating things that's not kosher. I don't want to speak too much. I don't want to get this video taken down, because eventually it's going to get to that point where they're going to shut up the prophets, and pretty much demonize us. But go ahead and take the internet down, because ultimately that's just fulfilling prophecy of Amos 9:8 with the famine of the word. So as you can see, though, of the time frame that we're in, is we're right here. And this, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And that line is Esau, Edom, and we're about to get to this part. That's why we're heralding the return of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, to set forth the kingdom of heaven down here on earth. So that's the end of this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rachakodash, and Shalom Akim.